Welcome back to episode 4 of Factorio. Yeah, I've just changed microphone interface because I was getting some crackling on the other one. Hopefully this is pretty good. Let me know in the comments if there's any problems with quality. I don't think there will be. But in this episode we're going to start on red and green science. We've already got a basic red science going, but we're going to need more than that. So a couple of things that I found before we get to that in mods. If we go to... where are you? So wonderful setting in here, blueprint last item. Turn this off. That gets rid of that that issue where I keep on ending up with a pipette blueprint every time I run out of items. It's kind of useful later on, I suppose, when you've got construction bots. Early on, not so much. So let's get started. First of all, let me just sort out my inventory. So let's get rid of these. And let me get these in a kind of rough order that I'll be using things in. So if you just drop things onto the toolbar, yeah, I just want to move those across, and then maybe underground belts. Just one to, well, in fact, it's already dropped into the right place. You can either middle click and then choose what you want to lock this slot to, or you can just move an item into it and then just middle click and you'll lock all the slots, which is exactly what I wanted. So, red and green science then. Yeah, we're gonna have to construct some stuff. So we may need, I don't know, 5 splitters, 500 gram belts, some inserters, some factories, let's say 15 of them, and probably the rest inserters. So we can start building. First of all, probably what I'm probably going to do is rearrange this a little bit because, yeah, it's going to need this setting up correctly. So if I just change this back here a second, I think I want something like the, well, once it gets to building these splitters, come on, there's a splitter, there we go. So let's get rid of you. And for the moment, get rid of you. Whoops, didn't need to put that there. What I'm going to do just for the time being is just to split off and say 50% is going to go into the circuits. And the other 50% is going to go into splitter, or rather the 2 sets of splitters. And then this group is going to split them into 4 equal components. So each of these, if you like, is a quarter of 50%. So 12.5%, of course. With me so far? Hopefully you are. I'm not going to worry about this side so much. I now need to move on to factories to make our red and green science properly. So we can maybe just, do I want to lock these? Probably not. If I put in some, let's say, start about here, we're going to leave enough space below it to need to do any rearranging that we need. And then let's just put in like this. Main reason the 6 is just because things scale quite well with 5 red factories, red science pack factories, and 1 cog factory. So let's just choose cogs and red, whoops, red, then we can just paste up like that. And we also want some power lines. So if I, let's say I put them here, no, I want them in the middle, just because we're going to have inserters on either side, and the middle really helps there. Pop this up here. This is pretty much a standard way of doing this in the game, so I don't think this is unique to me by any means. What we also going to need is these inserters. So if I say insert here, or maybe here. It shouldn't matter. Let me just put it there for now. And I'm going to export there, and then same thing with all of these. So I want to export this way. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're just going to input on the other sides. And am I going to run out? I don't think I am on this, but I will on green, so I may as well build some more. And you're about to see what I'm going to do here. So if I, for argument's sake, what do we actually need? Just double check. It's just gears and copper. So we're going to need to input copper on one side and gears on, well, Yeah, we can probably do it on a shared belt, to be honest. That should work. Let's give that a go. Okay, so if we output from gears onto this belt, all these are going to get gears. And that is going to output onto the left side of the belt because it's the opposite side from the inserter. So if we can input copper on the right side of the belt, everything should be fine. So if I put an underground belt there, and then copper that way, whoops, there we go. We'll rebalance that later. Everything should work, and now I just need a source of iron. And I can do a split of some kind. That might be a way to do that because I'm going to need iron elsewhere. So, yeah, will that work? Let's say for argument's sake, I have iron coming up here for now, and it's looped around because I'm going to do something else. And that should hopefully kick in. There we go. So on the other side, we just want a belt for output. And that will do that job. Once they start processing, yeah, there we go. So red science is coming onto the belt. On the other side, we're probably going to do the same thing. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when I was saying that 5 red science pack factories work out very well, it's because it balances well with 6 green and I think 10 or 12, I can never remember, of the next pack up. I think blue science. Oops. Definitely want green. And the reason why I didn't route the iron this way is just because I want a little bit of room for this. And we can put the poles in the same positions. No problem. And I better build more inserters, hadn't I? So our outputs are going to be here. Whoops. Nice and symmetric, please. It's not a speed run, so we can get things right. Hopefully you're enjoying the game so far anyway. We'll see when we get to it. It's all about solving puzzles like this. And to do that, we're going to need to input some stuff into here. We're going to need inserters and belts. And of course, I did put some belt machines down there, but you can't see that. Well, maybe you can. Yeah, it's not too bad, but yeah, we still want more light in the center. So we're going to need to get those two in there. So if I, for argument's sake, let's say I put a belt here like this, running the other way. And that's all purely because I just want them all to have a chance of grabbing some. And then we want to load onto this belt inserters and belts. And I'm not going to worry about pulling it from that other factory. I am, however, going to worry about making at least 2 of those. The next assembly machine's up. And then what I'm probably going to do is create the same sort of factory. Maybe cogs. And then maybe you and you. That seems reasonable, but it normally ends up not being so. So if this is cogs, to make inserters, I'm going to need circuits, cogs, and plate. To make belt, I'm going to need cogs and plate. So if I have a belt, let's say here, with cogs and plate on it, that should be fine. So I want the left side to have iron. And this is where this belt comes in. And that's actually pretty good positioning. I wasn't actually going for that, but that'll do. And we have it running this way. Actually, no, I don't want. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, absolutely. And then we have, let's say, this pulling there. Like that. Well, actually it should be here, I suppose, if we wanted to line everything up right. Then we got cogs, and we can output onto this belt, and we get, well, are they cogs? Gears. Gears, yes. Similar. So now we need to get some circuits onto here, so that's fine too. What I'm going to do is just extend these out. just so we don't accidentally overwrite our buses. And again, even though I've pulled off a full line of copper there, sort of iron there, I'm still going to write the full bus down because we'll rebalance things later. I don't need to worry about it just yet. And then, of course, we can just pull underground belts like this. And then what I want to do, in fact, oh, that needs to be one further across. That's actually me getting the belts wrong for once this episode. I got them right earlier. One there. And one there. And let's just, let's say, send it this way. And then we want a splitter. There we go. Circuits, circuits. Okay, so I'm going to stop the circuits there temporarily because it's only this one that needs the circuits. And in fact, I'm going to stop it one earlier, even earlier. Let's just make 5 long-handed and 5 regular inserters. And can I put them there and then lock that? So yes, for example, this is 1 through 5, so this is shift 1 through 5, so I can just go like that. Shift 2 and grab it from there. So I want this one coming from here, which is going to be out of power. But that's fine. And then I'm going to want it to be putting back across there and then grabbing you here. We'll then have a belt, let's say, running... For argument's sake, let's just put it there and then put the power on. Will you work? Yeah. Okay, so we've got inserters running on this side, and we're also going to want to put belts here. So if I route the things this way, and we can, there's no reason not to, I should be able to output there, input this way, that should be working, and that goes onto the right side, and then I can just put this, let's say I put these like that. There we go. So I could narrow this around, but I won't, just in case I need to do something else in future. And that is green science sorted. They should get pulled in and start producing green science. So now I can also build some science labs. Let's say 9, 10. I get the feeling this is going to support quite a few. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's probably something like 22 or 24 science labs. So lots. We're going to need to power that, of course, which means I'm going to need to go and look at my power situation fairly soon. In fact, let's go and look at power pole. What's the satisfaction at? Still okay for the moment, but as soon as I turn on those science packs, turn on the science labs, I should say, things are not going to be as happy. So let's just get rid of all of you guys and all of you. I can reclaim them. I'm going to leave one cog factory, I guess. Yeah. I'm not going to need anything more than processing. I'm going to leave this belts here because it's handy to just go and click, and now I've got 700 belts. I'm going to leave those running. Fluid handling is processing at the moment, and as you can see, science is starting to build. Doesn't really matter where we put this, although I wanted the room to spread this way. It was always helpful to build perpendicular to your buses, not alongside, because it just gets harder and harder. One of the main problems with buses is the further out you actually go this way, the less and less materials are on your bus. So you may have to replenish the bus or do some kind of bypass and reintroduce it later and all kinds of other things later game. But for early game, you don't have to worry about that too much. Just build perpendicular and you'll be much happier. So if I'm going to build perpendicular, then I want at least enough room for another set of those if I need to double it. So I probably want to start where that rock is. So that's fine because we've got a ton of belt. And let's say we start putting labs in here. So labs are a bit weird in that eventually we're going to have to feed a lot of products into them. Red and green are the the least of what you have to feed into labs. And there's a few ways to do labs. Let's just drop. Where was my labs? There they are. So what we could do is just put one here, like that. And to start off, I guess one of the ways... have I just built... That's remarkably annoying. You get out of the way. You can get labs to pass from one to another. So what we can do, I think, is something like this. And then you can feed from one into the other like this. Let's give that a go and see if it works. And I'm going to need more power poles. Always need power poles. What I used to do was just put these next to each other in clusters of 4 and then just run multiple belts around the outside. But we'll see if this works this game, and then we can talk about efficiency later. I'm not the person to talk to about efficiency, at least not yet. So let's just run some power poles up. And one more, maybe. Yeah, it's going to need to share between them. So let's just put it there for now. And what's the max distance will you cover? I'd rather put them equidistant. It's too far, so I'm just going to make sure I cover everything. In fact, that's going to annoy me because they cross over slightly. So let's just go. Let's go for full coverage. You can see where the square is on the floor, so I'll make sure I'm covering everything that I need to. As you can see, they're pulling in everything they need. If we choose something now with more than just red science, so let's say for argument's sake, what's military 2? That's grenades, which is going to be useful. Let's go for that. Is it going to pull in green? It is. Okay, so what we can also do then is just increase things. I think are they 3? Hopefully they are 3. We'll see. And where's you? Yeah. And we can also increase those relatively soon, I want to say. We need some circuits for that, but we can upgrade all these to blue inserters, which are much, much faster. But otherwise, I can just place down the rest of these, and we can probably go for a double row just to make sure this isn't incredibly long. We want, I don't know, let's just put 10 down, I guess. Let's just grab these. We don't need these anymore. So that's 12. So if I ask for, what do I need? More circuits. You always end up short of circuits. The sooner you can make a circuit setup, even if it's much simpler than this with just one coil, one electronic circuit, just to get you going, it'll pay dividends. So that was 12, so 17, 18, 19, 20. Right click to make 5 at once, left click to make 1 at once. Military 2's done, and let's just get that out of the way. It's for the logistics system. And let's just put these down. And then should be alright if we put a regular grid of these down. At least until I find out later, perhaps, that, yeah, I should have done it a different way, but yeah, we'll see. And we're going to want lots of inserters, so let's just get those done. And I guess we could put multiple between them, but to start off with, it's not worth worrying. I think they can insert faster than the labs can use them up. So, yeah, that is fine. And let's just hook up the power. Oops. There we go, all the power hooked up, and they should start feeding quite nicely once I start putting these in. And the final power, just for completeness. I can't build any more power. I'm out of wood. We need to go and sort that problem. There we go. So 20 science labs. I think that is everything we need. What's next? Yeah, steel furnace. Let's go for you. And they're working. One thing I've got to be a little bit worried about is that this is quite far out now from where I'm normally going. So we should probably think about, oh, and I failed the train thing. Don't worry. I wasn't planning to go for it anyway. You can just literally build a train in your pocket and it gets the achievement. This is more of a tutorial series than it is about speed runs. I suppose I can do a sort of a much faster one if you don't want explanations. We could do that later. Right, what else do I want to cover in this episode? We're at 20 minutes, so I guess... is there anything else? No, the next thing's on to steel, and let's actually do that in the next episode. So for now, let's leave it at red and green science. And next episode, we'll cover steel, which is relatively straightforward. And then maybe into oil or replacing our furnaces with the next version up. That's also a possibility once we have steel. Alright, thanks for listening. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe as normal. Otherwise, see you next episode, and thanks for watching.